Well, let's start with the fact that the mining industry is absolutely crucial if the world is going to transition to a lower carbon environment. So that needs to be taken into account. We need effectively more mining, but we need to do mining better. Unfortunately, at the moment, mining suffers from a poor reputation, and that's cross-generational. So in that respect, we help those organisations by, again, helping them manage and disclose what they're doing with these precious resources, and particularly also with the communities that they operate in and their various stakeholders. We help the industry talk about itself in a more positive way, but particularly it's not greenwashing, which some people have been accused of, because of the systems that we're putting in place underneath the output. Ultimately, there's a great deal of governance and probity around the information that's being released, so people can actually trust it. In a world where there's a lot of fake news out there, this information is being disclosed based on really solid systems. Society and people that are analysts will only put up with so much greenwashing, and we can see organisations like ASIC really clamping down on that now. So it's more important than ever. I think in this day and age, to improve any outcomes, people and organisations need to be held to account. And although that's a stick rather than a carrot approach, it does work, and it's certainly an important starting point. You'd love all people and players and organisations to be doing the right thing just because it's the right thing to do, but I think we have regulations for reasons. So in that regard, the increase in accountability on organisations is an important step to change behaviours in those organisations and the things that they do. So I think if we pick some industry issues like tailings disasters, for example, they've been happening for years and years and years. And then ultimately it got to a point where, particularly with the Brumadinho disaster, that was a line that was crossed and the community said no more. You know, that's not good enough. And now we have, you know, the global tailings standard and it's an industry-driven standard, to drive behaviours and outcomes, first and foremost for people and saving lives, for the environment and the communities that exist around those facilities. So that started with a standard. Now, most people working in those organisations would do it because it's the right thing to do, but now you're being watched, and again, it comes back to the disclosure. So an important part of that that standard is the disclosure of the information to all very publicly. So by putting these regulatory standards and community standards in place, that ensures that these areas, items, communities, environments are being taken care of. That's the first step. Now, as I said, that's a stick, not a carrot. And I think, you know, just like safety culture embedded itself in mining, you're going to see that this is just the right thing to do. As generations come through the industry, they're going to do the right things because it'll be ingrained in them and thinking about it all the time. But that's the starting point. So yeah, the benefits for environmental, social and governance are huge, and many more to come. So let's start with the point that the world now realises that all resources are precious. And if you are an organisation, particularly a public organisation that has tenure or ownership or use of those resources, you need to make sure that you're looking after those resources and the surrounding areas, communities that you're using or affecting. So that might seem obvious, but it's something that's dawned on a lot of us lately. And particularly in light of the fact that in recent times, organisations in particular are being judged not just by their adherence to regulatory standards, but also by community standards. And we've seen some really interesting examples of that in the last few years, particularly in mining, where we work mostly. Tailings dams failures resulting in loss of lives and destroying communities, priceless heritage being destroyed, those sorts of things where in some ways, certainly in the heritage area, no actual laws were broken, but community standards were crossed. So we define resource governance in the sense that under this increased scrutiny that organisations are under now, as good management and good governance of the information that you're disclosing, and ultimately the disclosure to the community at large and to the regulators. So we put in place systems to enforce those things and to make sure that the people that are receiving that information can actually trust that this is genuine information that has gone through a proper process, has proper probity about it, and certainly is not greenwashing. We break resource governance down into two areas. So one is mineral resource governance and one is natural resource governance. We have 9 solutions across those two pillars at the moment. So probably our early success came predominantly from mineral resource governance, which is particularly in the area of how an organisation or public company discloses its mineral inventory to the stock market. And that is a really highly regulated part of the industry and well known. It's mature. So that was a great position for us to start this journey at corporate head office, where again ESG is the issue that corporates are trying to manage, which takes us into the natural resource governance space as well, where we've picked some really big issues in the industry that need to be addressed, which it is absolutely essential to stopping things going wrong on the ground at these big operations. Ground disturbance is often where things go wrong, has a tight interface with heritage, so identifying where the heritage sites are, but then making sure everybody knows about where those sites are, and same with environmental sensitive areas and things like that. So they're the two areas that we're going after, and we will continue to build those suites out, if you like. Ultimately, our aspiration is to have a full suite of resource governance applications.